And this time we watched Black Adam from 2022. I think it just came out back in October. Yep, you're looking at that, Fluffy?
Yeah, she likes Dwayne Johnson.
So after Peacemaker came out, I think around the beginning of 2022, then we got this one later. It was delayed.
We saw it in like November.
I saw it in October when it came out.
Oh, I saw it in November, I think.
Maybe. I don't really remember. So we watched it again, new, so that we're ready to go for this. Do you want to start or should I start on this one?
Well,
give us your thoughts. Did you enjoy this or not?
I talked about this before, actually, after we watched it. I just felt like this was like... the story should have been about Black Adam. It should have been about the family and why the mother was looking in these places and the Kondonkians and their struggle. This silly superhero team, which is just so...
The Justice Society shows up?
Just so...
Man.
Ugh.
Hawkman.
So dumb.
Okay, Aldous Hodge is Hawkman. Then you got Pierce Brosnan shows up as Dr. Fate. Then you got Atom Smasher and Cyclone.
It wasn't believable. That whole thing, they should have just extracted that out of the show. It was just so dumb.
Really?
I couldn't take that.
That was one of the best parts for me.
I couldn't take it. They were just stupid.
Okay,
flitting around, getting their noses in where they don't belong.
Well, they were sent there by Amanda Waller at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, but they never even talked to Black Adam. All of a sudden, they just like accosted the fella, and they weren't nice. I mean, I just think they should have rewritten this in a different way. That got those. They were just like, that's like instead of the B team, that was like the F team.
I guess Justice League wasn't available for this, you know?
But they were just so generic superheroes, and the dialogue and everything.
Doesn't sound like you enjoyed this movie.
I did not like them at all. I liked the Black Adam character. I loved his story.
You like Dwayne Johnson in it?
Yeah, and I love his story. But this interfering, it's like a fly buzzing in my ear.
Did you like the ancient country of Kondonk?
Well, that made more sense.
I mean,
but why were they in that place to begin with? It should have focused on those people and their struggle, and Black Adam learning that he actually could be a hero, and maybe have some people come in to bother him, but not the way that they did it. It was just so forced. Ugh. Thank you.
It didn't bother me having the Justice Society there at all, because I enjoyed all of them. Aldous Hodge as Hawkman was my favorite, because he's just so angry all the time. Just you and me.
Cool for school.
You and me afterwards.
It's way too cool for school.
Yeah, he's got his Xavier style mansion with his Blackbird jet that comes up underneath the gardens there.
Too cool for school, man. He has no personality.
Complete comic book wackiness. No, he does. He's angry all the time. He's always pissed off.
It doesn't make sense. He could have been like... The problem with those guys were they could have been anybody. Could have been switched out for anybody. That's the problem with them.
But it was great that we got to see them. Atom Smasher as the rookie. Got his suit from his grandfather, Henry Winkler, of all people. He shows up in this.
He was just, I thought
and he's funny comic relief. He keeps screwing up.
I don't know. It's just they were like bugs buzzing in my ears.
He keeps pissing off Hawkman all the time, which is great. Like the worst part of this movie was the kid for me, but I don't want to go on about that. Each time I watch this movie gets better for me. I think this is probably the fourth time I've watched it now. And I don't mind the kid as much. Dwayne Johnson is great in this. He's the straight man in a comedy. Now, I want to be clear here. This movie isn't great. This is a bad movie, but it's really fun.
English at first.
Well, he doesn't speak English at first. And then he switches to what... I mean, are they speaking English or is this movie just in English? Either way, it's magic. I don't really care.
The accents were wrong.
I don't really care. I like when he's taking out all the guards and the kids explaining stuff to him. And the catchphrase, He's always wanting to do his catchphrase, but he keeps screwing it up and kills the guys
just
first.
Focus on Black Adam and get all these other people out of it. Those superheroes were just contaminating the movie, it seemed.
I can't believe that this movie got made, because this is a movie that Dwayne Johnson's trying to get made for like the last 10 years, or maybe it was 8 years, and it didn't even hit.
He was great as Black Adam.
Yeah, he was great, and
Adam.
he doesn't have padding on him. Like he's bulked up for that to look like that, and I mean he looks great, and all of him being the straight man and talking about sarcasm, all that kind of stuff was great. I was laughing like crazy during that, especially with the stuff between Hawkman and Atom Smasher, the electrician, the brother of the professor woman,
and the family,
he's
and why
great.
She was wanted and why they were doing that. Like, it really should have been more about that. Like, it could have been like the Mummy. You see?
Which one?
Well, like, I'm thinking of the first Mummy. It should have been more like the Mummy, with the family investigating, and it's in their heritage, and then they find this guy, but like, not, the Mummy was evil, of course.
Okay.
But it should have been more like that. I just think it was such a lost opportunity, and they just ruined a movie.
I'm going to try and focus on the good things that I like about this. I mean, the fact that they got Pierce Brosnan to show up as Dr. Fate.
He was the worst. Him and that Hawkman. Ugh.
For me, I really enjoyed it. Except they killed him off at the end. I didn't like that. But,
his clothing was so pretentious.
I mean, stop killing off everyone. I mean, this came out. Unfortunately, this didn't earn a profit at the box office because the budget was too much. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I think a lot of the movies that have come out that flop lately because they have huge budgets, it's because a lot of these were done during the pandemic and all those restrictions that they had to put in place, and it added a lot to the budget, which is unfortunate that a lot of these movies now, including this one, couldn't make money. I think this movie probably did end up breaking even once it was sent to streaming and physical media and, licensed out to TV for syndication, that kind of stuff. But that's unfortunate because Dwayne Johnson was out there promoting the crap out of this and doing as best he could, going on all the talk shows and everything.
He was great in it.
Yeah, and he was so good. I loved it. Is there going to be a Black Adam 2? I highly doubt it.
The story was crap.
I don't understand why Dwayne Johnson so wanted to do this Black Adam movie, because Black Adam in the comics is such a D-list character. That's
not a thing anymore, though. Obviously, they've made many movies about all different kind of characters. That's not a thing. But what D-list? Talk about F-list. These weird superheroes that they brought in to fight him. That made no sense. It makes no sense.
Okay, you
at all.
said that already.
I just can't. Why did they think people wanted to see this Hawkman with this ridiculous helmet?
I did.
And Pierce Brosnan dressing like with an ascot, and oh my god, wearing pajamas and stuff. Oh, it's just so. Ugh. Anyway.
Okay. The cameos in it, including Henry Winkler. Plus, we got the cameo at the end, which got a lot of people excited. We get Henry Cavill back as Superman. And then
me excited.
And then there was a regime change, and now that's gone because, like Christine, general audiences don't really care for Henry Cavill's Man of Steel Superman and don't really care for these DCEU movies. And so that's why they're rebooting it. So
well, he's just so damn mopey. And I just don't like Henry Cavill. Seeing him in The Witcher, he's trying to bomb The Witcher constantly with his very uncharismatic. Like, he talks so dull. And did the same thing as Superman. He's just so dull. And I don't understand what he's trying to pull off. But it's him. He's the thread there. It's not the directors. He's acting that way on purpose.
Okay.
It's just bad.
What did you like about this Black Adam movie? The villain was not very good. The end villain. I didn't really care for that. It didn't make sense,
the end villain. He just dies. They didn't write it properly. And I love Black Adam and I love his story.
You like his story?
That should have been what it was about.
Did you remember that they had referenced him in Shazam?
I don't know.
And one thing I noticed is that even though the word is still the same, he has to say Shazam just like Billy Bats in there in order to
Never
become
say
Black
why
Adam.
it's Shazam.
But when they get his powers, when the wizard give him his powers, because of course Jamon Hansu's got to show up because he's in everything, right? This guy always making cameo appearances, but the each of the letters stands for something different than it did in Shazam. They're different gods.
Looks like there's different. We see all these different wizards, but we only see them for like a millisecond.
Yeah, yeah. It's just there just to give you like, hey, this is part of his origin. We don't need to spend a lot of time on that. And I enjoyed that because I don't like origin stories for the most part. So what else can I say about this? I mean, Amanda Waller showing up and the Justice Society. It didn't work for Christine, but I did really enjoy that there.
What do you guys think? Did you think they just contaminated the movie and ruined it?
The end villain plus his army of the dead from like hell or something. They were pretty weak. They're getting beaten by pipes.
That was like very soft. Like that was just like thrown in there almost.
I did enjoy a lot of the jokes in it when he was joking about sarcasm. And he's throwing people around. They're like, bring me the prisoners. Yeah. They're like, fortunately, they didn't make it. And the guy's landing in the background. And if you look really closely, on a couple of times when you're on the street, there's a store on one of them, and it says KFC. But it's not the one we have in North America. It's Condong Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
And then later on, when the Justice League go to talk to Black Adam in that old temple or whatever it is where the throne is, if you notice, Atom Smasher is eating a bucket of fried chicken. So he must have gone off to go buy some.
That wasn't done right. I just thought that was really dumb. I don't know.
I do like the juxtaposition where the Justice side, they're coming in. They were sent in by Amanda Waller. Okay, we gotta take down Black Adam. Why? Because Amanda Waller says so, and these ancient texts say that he's really bad. Okay, that's why we gotta take him out. So they're fighting him, and all the people are like, why are you fighting this guy? He's our new champion, he's our superhero. And they're like, why don't you guys go away, right? You guys don't belong here. This is our country.
They belong in the movie.
Okay. Yeah. The intergang stuff was just comic book wacky.
Make sense.
I'm okay with that.
The villain didn't make sense, really, and this weird army at the end just thrown in there, it didn't make much sense.
The Eternium that's just DC's version of, Eternium. DC's version of vibranium or adamantium.
We don't know
those
enough
kind of
about
things.
It.
So
it doesn't really give you much information about it other than we're trying to mine it and it seems to hurt him, but we don't know enough about it.
I like that too, that it can hurt him. Okay, so he's not all powerful because he is magic.
We needed to know more about that stuff. Like instead they focused on.
Do we?
I didn't understand it. Like they needed to focus. Like get the story right.
Yeah. I had fun with it. The effects look great, so they took their time and made it look better. So I quite enjoyed that there. What kind of rating would you give this before we finish up here?
I don't know. Just
best worst movie ever?
It wasn't very good, but I liked the character.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll give it like a 72 maybe. I don't know.
72?
That's being very generous.
Okay. While I admit this was a bad movie and it could have definitely used a script rewrite, I still have fun with it. I definitely had a lot of fun with it, and I seem to enjoy it more times I watched it. Unlike some other DCEU movies that I watch, and the more I watch them, I don't like them. Well, there's just one, that's BVS. But for Black Adam, I give it a best movie ever. It's not great, but watch it, and you'll have fun with it, because there's so much good jokes and so much comic book ridiculousness. Like, Dwayne Johnson should be proud he made this. This is a fun time, okay? Even if, the story wasn't that great and some of the characters weren't pulled out, but what a great time there. Oh. So, are you looking forward to our next segment of Into the DCEU? And we're going to watch Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Okay.
Which I haven't seen since it was in theaters, but I'm looking forward to rewatching it.
We just watched it. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, well, we're going to watch it again so that we can review and talk about it.
We already did review it on the show. We already reviewed Black Adam on the show.
Yeah, when we first started, which was a while ago now, and we did spoiler free. So, but this becomes part of our Into the DCU segment. So Thanks for tuning in. You can give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this or any of our other segments. And that was part 12 of Into the DCEU.